From a traditional sense or from a tribal sense, you know, Vermont is a very new idea.
I'm from Vermont. That's where we're living. They call it Vermont. I have a Vermont license plate on my car. Pick a day of the week and ask me, are you a Vermonter? Yes. Are you an American citizen? Yes. Are you an Abenaki? Yes. So yes to all those things.
Vermont was very sacred to our people. And I know that's all Abenaki territory. And I have visions, I just imagine that our people are still here. And I just get into a feeling, it's not sad, it's just very special. I feel their presence here.
People were always moving up here away from someplace else. Guilford, Connecticut was the feeder of Guilford, Vermont, and I guess Guildford back in the old country was a feeder of Guilford, Connecticut.
The people who came to Vermont came from the older colonies. Not so much refugees, but independents who wanted to do their own thing and not be under, I guess you'd say, management of the old timers.
All my friends like tan hides and slaughter animals and hunt, you know, but they're also these like hippie kids, you know.
So getting away from rules made by other people is probably why most people have moved, even today.
But before that, there was a life here for our people, with many different groups, with many different names, but all identifying themselves as Abenaki people or Wabanaki people.
A lot of the core foods that we eat here come right straight from native agriculture, Native American agriculture, indigenous agriculture.
There's always a silent appreciation for whatever you're harvesting. Even when I harvest in the garden, there's kind of a silent, you know, thanks for letting the onions grow so big or whatever.
This nature that taught our people how to live.
Corn, beans, and squash, the Three Sisters garden.
And it's the same people that were in Vermont, in Maine, in New Hampshire, and Quebec. It's the same culture. And you know, there's a border now, but that's not how our people even think today.
The Abenaki people have been here since the beginning of time because our creation stories tell us that. I hate the word myth because the word myth denotes something that's not real, something that's made up.
Most every historian had suggested there were no Indians in Vermont, period. Even in 5th grade little Vermont history texts.
But how can you argue with the archaeologists, the historians, the anthropologists, the geologists even? I mean, they all say that there's evidence and proof that the Abenaki were here, and there's village sites all over Vermont.
Even as a 4th grader, I thought it was odd because they said the Indians would come in and hunt and fish and then leave at night. So they never lived here. I think that was where I started mistrusting history books.
I want to hear your story because it's not until that occurs can we really be on the same level, the same playing field, a sense of understanding and empathy.
I kept reading and none of my people were there. There weren't any French, there weren't any Irish, there weren't any Lebanese, there weren't any Italians, there weren't any women. So I'm sitting there just thinking, my people never did anything important.
That would never.
This is basically the grocery store, the pharmacy, the drugstore, and the hardware store for Native peoples.
To the Native people, it's the common pot. It's the place where you find all your food.
It's a little bit of wetlands that the beavers decided to move in and flood my ash grove out.
It's where the chestnuts and the butternuts and the acorns grew, and it's where all the berries grew, the elderberries and the strawberries, and it's also the place where the medicinal plants were and still are.
This material here would be not worthwhile taking because it's been laying around rotting too long. There is the beaver house.
Oh, yeah.
They've moved in and basically pushed me out. But they're only doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is flood the planet. So they're doing a good job here.
They're doing what beavers do, they're eating. If you don't allow the predators to live in the wild garden, then the cultivated garden will never be healthy.
Here we go. What I'm going to do is walk down here and borrow some of the beaver's handiwork and get a little water on this and show you how to make a quick and dirty basket.